Education is the most powerful tool through which we can change the entire world. This is said by none other than Nelson Mandela. But what if the same education system of a country gets compromised? In that case, can it shape the future of the entire nation? The answer is no. We are talking about the NEET scam 2024, the alleged NEET scam 2024. Now, was it a scam or was there a series of discrepancies in the NEET 2024 exam? We'll discuss in this session. But our focus is not just on NEET 2024 examination. Our focus is broader. Our focus is wider. We will be discussing about All India Examination Leak, because the NEET exam was given by close to 24 lakh aspirants. So close to 24 lakh aspirants, their career is at stake. But in All India Examination Leak, in the last 5 years, 1.4 crore candidates have suffered. So there have been instances of more than 41 examinations which have been compromised, which have been leaked, and 1.4 crore students in the country suffered. Now, India as a country is having more than 50% population below the age of 25. So India is a very young country. Demographic dividend in our country is very, very rich. And if in such a country, these examination leaks on which the future of a country, future of these students is based on, if they are leaked, if they are compromised, the question is on the examination system of the country. The question is on the examination administration of the country. So there are different underlying issues. In this just one topic, there are different underlying issues. The underlying issue is on education system, education administration, and also student suicide, because many students, thousands of students have done suicide, have committed suicide in the last many years. So student suicide issue, education administration issue, and also it will be an understatement if I say that the issue of national security and organized crime is also related to this examination leak, All India Examination Leak. So first we'll be discussing about the NEET 2024 scam. Was it a scam, or what were the discrepancies, what were the issues? And then we'll be discussing about All India Examination Leak. Now coming to the first thing, that why NEET 2024 has become so controversial. Now for your understanding, NEET 2024 was conducted by an organization named as NTA, National Testing Agency, which was formed in 2017. Now after 2017, it has been conducting the major examinations in our country like CUET as well. So CUET UG, CUET PG as well, right? Now the first discrepancy or first question arises on the date on which examination was held. So examination was held on 5th of May. Now for your understanding, I would tell you that UPSC Civil Services examination was scheduled to be held on 26th of May. But due to general elections in our country, Lok Sabha elections in our country, it was postponed to 16th June. Now the question is, why was a NEET examination conducted? And for your information, I'll tell you, close to 10 lakh people apply for the civil services examination. 24 lakh students gave the NEET examination. So if UPSC can postpone its examination, why can't NTA? Why was NEET not postponed? Now second question is on the date of result. Now result was expected to be released on 14th June. But when was it released? It was released on 4th of June. And what was on 4th of June? 4th of June was the day when the general elections results were announced. Lok Sabha election results were announced. Now, why in such a hurry the results were announced? They could have waited for a few more days to announce the result. Why it was announced at the eve of general election result announcement? That is another question which NTA has to answer, and which they have answered. We'll be discussing about their answers as well. But first, let us see what are the issues. Now, another biggest issue is in relation to the marks. Now, this NEET examination is having 720 marks. Now, just imagine how many students scored 720 out of 720. Not one, not two, not three. 67 students, 67 candidates scored full marks. So you always see that in UPSC, we are used to seeing rank 1 being a particular person. But in NTA's NEET examination, 67 students are rank 1. Can you believe it? 67 students are securing rank 1. And for your information, I'll tell you, the best college of NEET in our country, or for medical courses in our country, is AIMS Delhi, the best MBBS college in our country. And AIMS Delhi is having close to 46 seats of general category for MBBS. Now just imagine a person who is securing rank 1, even they are not sure that they will be getting admission in the top college or not. So what more do you expect? What should a student do? They are scoring rank 1, then also they are not getting a college of their choice. So what should students do? And this is not all. One more thing, six students who secured rank 1, they are from the same center. Now more than 4,000 centers were there for the NEET examination. And what are the chances, what are the probabilities that in just single center, in one center, there are 6 students who have secured rank 1? The highest level of probability we can imagine, right? This is another question which NTA has to answer. Now, another very major discrepancy is in relation to few marks which were given. So many students, they secured 718 marks. Many students secured 719 marks. Now, for those of you who know about NEET examination, they might consider, or they might think that these marks are impossible. They can never be achieved. Now, the reason is, I will tell you that the NEET examination is of 720 marks, right? For every correct answer, you get +4 marks. For every wrong answer, you get -1 marks. Now, let us say you answer all the questions correctly. You get 720 out of 720. Let's say if you're not able to answer one question correctly, but you answer all the other questions correctly, how much marks you will get? You will get 716 marks, right? Now, let's say you answer one question incorrectly. This is if you don't answer one question. If you answer all the questions, if you don't answer one question, you get 716. But if you answer all the questions, one question is incorrect, then you will get 715, because 4 marks less of the question and then -1 of the negative marking. So you will get 715. So 716 is possible, 715 is possible, 720 is possible, 718 and 19, how is it possible? That is the question. These are impossible marks. Now here also explanation have been given by the NTA. NTA said that the reason is that we gave them grace marks. Now there has been discrepancy in this also. In the grace marks also, there is a very, very big discrepancy. We will study about that when we see the response of the NTA. But here also a lot of questions needs to be answered by the NTA, that there was a normalization done. Now on what basis normalization was done? That is also what NTA has said. But there also a lot of discrepancies are there. We'll see when we see the response of the NTA. Now one more big thing was that 650 plus marks if you are getting. Now if you would have gotten 650 plus marks 2 or 3 years back, you were sure to get into a good government medical college and do your MBBS degree in a very cheap price. But students are getting 650 marks now and they are getting rank upwards of 30,000. So they are not even sure that they will get semi-government college also. This is the plight, that even after securing 650 plus marks, you are not sure of getting admission into a government college. This is the extent towards which entrance examination in our country have stooped to. Now the questions are even broader. These are just the issues of one examination. The questions are even broader. That are the entrances which we conduct, are they the real test of students' capabilities? Do they test the student capabilities in the real manner? Is the education system, is the testing system in our country flawed? These are the questions which we need to ponder upon and which we need to get an answer if we as a country have to grow. Because education is the block on which a country is built. Right? Okay. So again, one big issue which I didn't touch upon till now is the issue of examination leak. The alleged examination leak. So what happened that in the early May, 1 or 2 days before this NEET examination was held, Bihar Police in Patna, Bihar Police, the economic offences unit of Bihar Police, they conducted certain raids and they made certain arrests. And these arrests were in relation to the NEET examination leak. Now, if you see this news clipping which I've put over here, which took over the probe, the Economic Offences Unit, which took over the probe of the NEET UG paper leak, alleged NEET UG paper leak, on May 10 have added 6 more names of the medical aspirants. And they have made certain arrests. Now, NTA said that there was no such leak. But then the question is, why were these arrests made? Why were people arrested if there was no examination leak? And if there was examination leak, even if 10 students got to know the questions beforehand, don't you think these were not limited to 10 students? 10 students would have forwarded these question papers on WhatsApp groups, on Telegram groups. How can you intercept that? Telegram chats or WhatsApp chats we can't intercept, because they are encrypted. So how do you know that compromise of this NEET examination happened or not, or took place or not? That is another question which NTA needs to answer. And also, again, 67 students got rank 1. This is again a hilarious thing, and this is again a shocking thing which we all got to know, right? Now, the broader question or the broader issue is of the impact. This is what we need to understand and this is what we need to know. that these discrepancies, if they happen on a regular basis, what will be the impact of these discrepancies on our country? First is that it will erode the trust and credibility of the education system of our country. So the trust which the students have, which the students' parents have, it will be eroded. So just if we take example of just the NEET examination, 24 lakh students were involved. Now, not just those 24 lakh students, their families also were involved. So close to 1 crore people were involved, right? And 1 crore people's lives were impacted because of this, or lives could be impacted because of this. Now, this is a very serious concern because trust and credibility of the educational institution is immense. If that is compromised, then eventually public confidence on the education system would erode. And if there is no public confidence, then eventually the education system quality will also drop down. And this is again a bigger social concern in relation to the examination leaks. But even bigger social concern is that of students' suicides. Now, I have put a news article over here which says that over 35,000 students committed suicide in the country between 2019 to 2021. So from 2019 to 2021, 35,000 students committed suicide. Because of a variety of reasons in a country where the students are committing suicide, do you think the prosperity of the country would be happy? The prosperity of the country would be in positive sense? The answer is no, because students should never commit suicide. But why are they committing suicide? If you see the year-wise numbers, 10,000, close to 10,000 students committed suicide in 2019, 12,500 in 2020, 13,000 in 2021. Why students are at the cusp of committing suicide? Because of these examination leaks only. Because the entrance system or the education system in our country has become so weak, or has become so, I would say, outdated and not evolved, that students are committing suicide. So these are serious concerns. These are the serious questions which we need to answer and which we need to ponder upon, right? So this is again a very, very big issue. And if these such leaks keep on happening, meritocracy in a country definitely will be compromised. The education system and the quality, of course, because of these reasons will be compromised. And what will happen? The below average talent, they will get the opportunity. And the people who are talented, they will not get the opportunity. So people would be thinking that after giving 50 lakh or 1 crore rupees, if you are getting a NEET seat, if you are able to clear the NEET examination just by giving money, then why to study? And just imagine if these students went on to become doctors, would you be going to these doctors? Would you prefer going to these doctors if you know that they have just passed the examination by giving money? The answer is no. The long-term social decay, the long-term societal decay. See, if the education system starts getting compromised, the societal decay is not far. As a society, the decay will start. Which is why serious steps needs to be taken for us as a country in relation to remedifying these issues and remedifying these discrepancies. Now coming to the response of NTA. Now NTA has given, last night only NTA has published this response, and I went through this response. It is a detailed response, I would say. But again, even after this response given by the NTA, there are again another questions which we have to ask the NTA, because these responses are not very clear. First, I will tell you about the high cutoff. Now, cutoff went very high. We saw 720 out of 720, 67 students were getting. So why the cutoff is high? What does NTA say? NTA says that because of the overall performance of the candidate, the competitive nature of the examination, and the higher performance standards achieved by the candidates, the cutoff went high. Now, these are very vague terminologies. Don't you think that the higher performance standards were there 1 year before, when 1 or 3 students got rank 1? Or year before that, where only handful of students got rank 1. Why the high performance standards were there in 2024? And so much high performance standards that 67 students were there, right? So again, they have given a list that 2020, the average marks were 297. And these are the average marks over the last many years, last 5 years. 2024, it is 323. The average marks has increased. But even after average marks getting increased, the question is how 67 students can score 720 out of 720, right? That is the bigger question. Now, the response to it, the 718, 719 marks which the students were getting, they have given the reply of compensatory marks. They have said that many students went on for a writ petition. They filed a writ petition in the Honorable High Courts of Punjab, Haryana, Delhi and Chhattisgarh. So writ petitions were filed because of loss of time, loss of examination time. So in some centers what happened, that examination was started a bit late. and the papers were taken on time from them, right? So they lost certain examination time, and these students went on to the respective high courts and they filed a writ petition. Now NTA says, now because of their writ petitions, we had to award compensatory marks to them. So they said that we constituted a grievance redressal committee which thoroughly observed these things and which also considered grievance and representation based on the factual reports of the functionaries and CCTV footage. So based on that, they considered that how much time was lost, and after that, such candidates were compensated with marks based on their answering efficiency and time lost. Now, these are the biggest things. First of all, how were you able to ascertain how much time was lost? CCTVs are not always accurate, and you would not be getting CCTVs of all the centers. You wouldn't have checked of all the centers. Did you just check for these centers, Delhi, Chhattisgarh, Punjab and Haryana? Not of other states where the writ petitions were not filed. So if students from a certain state were not filing writ petitions, does that mean that time was not lost in their states? Another question, how do you assess the time lost and what marks you gave them? So let's say a student lost 15 minutes of the examination. How much marks you compensated them for? What is the mechanism for compensation of marks? What was the mechanism which you deployed for compensating these students? Is it listed anywhere? The answer is no. So again, this response is vague. This response is not very clear and very accurate. Now, another thing, it was based on answering efficiency. Now, how do you ascertain answering efficiency of a student? Now, this I'm not able to get. Answering efficiency, how NTA is able to ascertain, and that of 24 lakh aspirants. How is it even possible? And how do you award grace marks? That means certain irregularity has been there, certain discrepancies there, which needs to be corrected, right? Which NTA is not agreeing to. On the analysis of the CCTV footage, it was ascertained that integrity of the examination was not compromised anywhere. But there have been several instances from Haryana and from other states as well, which students have directly said that the integrity was not there, was not upholded in certain centers. In certain centers, there were discrepancies in relation to the invigilators. Invigilators were coming 20 minutes late, 30 minutes late. Two sets of paper were given to the students, and after that, one set was taken from them. These were the instances reported by several students, but no, I would say, explanation was given to that regard. Right. Now coming to the toppers in NEET, they have also explained that how so many toppers are there, right? So they said the candidates have increased. Earlier the candidates were close to 20 lakh. Now the candidates were close to 23 lakh or 24 lakh, right? They said there were challenges to the provisional answer key and there was discrepancy in one answer. Because of that, they awarded, or they are saying that 44, this 720 out of 720 marks, 44 students are on account of revision of marks. So marks were revised, and because of that, 44 students got rank 1. And also they are saying that in one answer key of the physics, 6 were out of compensatory marks because of the time lost. So student lost their time and they got rank 1. This is what they're saying. 6 students lost their time and they got rank 1 because of the compensatory marks, compensatory loss of time. Now again, there are a lot of questions which might arise after seeing all these things. Right? How examination at such a national scale, such a large scale, which is selecting the future doctors of our country, how these kind of things can happen in such an examination? Don't you think the future of the candidates is at stake? And candidates demanding re-examination, don't you think the demand is correct? Right? Now coming to the declaration of results. Now they have said that we declared the result as early as possible and there was no specific reason that why it was announced on 4th of June. But again, we can take this that maybe this was, let's say, this was a normal thing that result was declared on 4th of June and this was just an aberration. There was no malified intention in this. We can take that, right? This is okay, understandable. But coming to one more thing, right? They are saying unfair means cases. Unfair means cases also, they have given a response. So they said action taken in unfair mean cases is in existence in accordance to the existing rules, including cancellation of the candidature. The candidate has cancelled their debarment from the future examination, debarred from giving any future examination in NTA. Now NTA has registered cases against the impersonators who have impersonated certain candidates. Some cases have been registered by the state police as well. NTA has been extending support wherever required to the agencies investigating cases pertaining to the NEET UG 2024. Now the question is, if such cases are happening, then don't you think NEET examination 2024 was compromised? And one more thing I'll tell you, See, these allegations are leveled on NTA on multiple occasions. But why no such allegation has been leveled on UPSC abhi tak? Till now, on UPSC, no such allegation has been leveled. Why? How UPSC is able to conduct examination in such a free and fair manner? Of course, there is certain opaqueness in UPSC examination as well. Certain reforms needs to be there. But again, the integrity of the examination has never been questioned. Why? Because they keep examinations very, very secure. They keep examinations very, very private, right? So why can't NTA learn from UPSC and conduct examination in a free and fair manner? That is the question. Now, this is the response of NTA, and again, if you read the response very carefully, you would see that all the questions were not answered. And all the questions were not answered to the satisfaction of the viewers and to the satisfaction of the students, right? This is the conclusion which we achieve from reading this NTA response. Right. Now coming to the broader issue of All India Examination League. Now I told you that the NEET examination is just one examination. In the last 5 years, 1.4 crore job seekers in recruitment examinations, there has been there has been a discrepancy. And clearly there has been leak in 41 recruitment examinations in 15 states. So 15 states bore the brunt. So 41 documented instances of leak in recruitment examination in the last 5 years in our country, right? Again, recruitment examination, careers of students and aspirants is at stake. And if they are compromised, again, the future of the country is compromised. If you see the state-wise list, 15 states, 41 job recruitment examination leaks. Right? In Jammu and Kashmir, 3 examinations were leaked and these many aspirants were impacted. In Uttarakhand, 4 examination leak happened. In Arunachal, only 1, Assam only 1, UP only 1. In Bihar, there were 3 examination leaks. Jharkhand 1, Odisha 1, Madhya Pradesh, 5 examination leaks happened. In Telangana, 5 examination leaks. Karnataka 2, Maharashtra 2, Gujarat 3, Rajasthan 7 and Haryana 2 examination leaks happened. Right? So close to 41 examination leaks happened in the entire country in the last 5 years. And this we are talking about just recruitment exams, which recruit various personals, the examination for the job seekers, right? And how many aspirants? 1.4 crore aspirants were impacted. So just imagine how many families were impacted. More than 4 crore families were, more than 4 crore people were impacted. 1.4 crore families and more than 4 crore people were impacted because of this. Again, this is a very, very serious issue which we need to consider. Now the question is on solution. That all these examination leaks are happening, but what is the solution? What has the government done in order to ensure that these examination leaks do not happen? Now the government has definitely taken a proactive measure, and the proactive measure was taken this year itself. The government came up with the Public Examination Prevention of Unfair Means Act of 2024. So this Act of Public Examination Prevention of Unfair Means was enacted this year itself, the early part of this year, right? And there were certain important provisions of this Act which I feel you should know and which I feel you should be privy to, right? First is in relation to the punishments, but before that, this particular Act, it defines what do you mean by unfair means. What is unfair means in an examination? So section 3 of the Act, it defines it, and also says that there are 20 different offenses which we can say are linked towards unfair means. It can include impersonation. Someone is impersonating another and they're going to sit in examination, right? Then manipulation of answer sheet is also part of this, and any tampering with the documents. That is also part of unfair means in relation to this particular Act. What are the punishments which will be given if a person is involved in any unfair means? What will be the punishment? So punishment will be from 3 to 5 year prison term for a person who is involved in paper leaks. And if the case is linked to organized crime, that is why I told you that it is integral to the national security of the country, because it can be linked to the organized crime. If it is linked to the organized crime, then the prison sentence can go up to 10 years. Right? Again, it can impose a fine of 1 crore rupees and also can recover the cost of conducting examinations. Right? And it can debar the firms from conducting public examination if a firm is involved in the examination leak. These are the punishments provided under this Act. And they have said that what will be the nature of offenses. Now, UPSC aspirants would be able to relate to it. What will be the nature of offense if a person is indulged in unfair means? The offense shall be cognizable, the offense shall be non-bailable and non-compoundable, right? Which makes it a very serious offense. Right. Now coming to the investigation. Now the act said that investigation will be done by officer which is not under the rank of Deputy Superintendent of Police. So DSP, minimum DSP should be conducting the investigation, or Assistant Commissioner of Police must head such matters, right? And the government is having the power to give the investigation to a central agency, for example, CBI as well, right? The government is having that power. So it frees up the police and police can act in its own and arrest without a warrant. So again, this law is a very, very stringent law against examination leaks. Now a high-level national technical committee will also be there, and it will be looking on these particular things, that how do we insulate digital platforms, how do we devise ways and means for developing foolproof security system, how electronic surveillance can be improved. All these things, there will be a high-level technical committee to monitor these things. And this particular act will be for all the central examinations, and it will serve as a model and model draft for the state examinations as well, right, which are conducted by the respective state governments. So again, this is a very, very prominent law, right? Now coming to the solution, that what should happen, what will happen next in relation to the NEET examination and overall all India examination leak. What is the future, what will happen? So first thing is that case is ongoing in Supreme Court. Many candidates have gone to Supreme Court and they've filed a case. They have moved Supreme Court for reconduct of examination. So many students are demanding that the examination needs to be reconducted. Also, first thing is that the government needs to consider this at the earliest. So the central government should consider the demand of the students. And they should basically set up an investigation agency or the investigation unit to investigate this particular crime of examination leak and the scam and the discrepancies which happened in the NEET examination 2024. Thorough probe and investigation needs to be there, and if this happens, eventually it will restore the faith and trust of people in the education system, in the examination system of the country. So there should be thorough probe and investigation, and the criteria and mechanism should be told to the students in a transparent manner. If the grace marks were given, what is the criteria? What was the mechanism towards which grace marks were given? How was the compensation awarded for the marks? And how was the normalization done? That criteria should be revealed by the NTA to the students. Only then there will be transparency, and it will restore the faith and the trust of people on the system. And eventually at the last, strict enforcement of the law, which we just saw. Strict enforcement of the law, public examination law should be there, and there should be a strict no tolerance policy towards any examination leak or towards any discrepancy in any such examination, because these examinations are not just linked to the lives of students, but they are linked to the lives and careers and aspirations of crores of families in our country. And the brunt of these leaks and the brunt of these scams in the recruitment and entrance examination is held by the middle class of the country, which is an aspirational class. And they face the biggest brunt of these leaks. So all the remedial steps needs to be taken, and proper response needs to be given by the investigation authorities as well, and the recruitment and the examination conducting authorities as well to the candidates, so that the candidates are satisfied. All the very best and have a nice day.